flying down the moon and take you traveling the world. But I can love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you. I'll give you all of what I've got. The fancy finds, baby. Just gonna love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you. Just gonna love you. Yeah, I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna love you, babe. Cross my heart and hope to die.
Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to discuss a few things regarding some of the changes we've made in the past few months that we mentioned in our last video. Things like,
why did we return to a Class A motorhome? Why did we choose a Tiffin?
Yeah.
And why did we choose South Dakota as our domicile state? So first topic, why did we leave the Grand Design fifth wheel and return back to a Class A motorhome?
yeah, and let me just say that choosing the right RV for you and your family is certainly a personal issue. I mean, there are several things you have to determine. One is, of course, how you plan to use it. Will you be staying, for long stays in one place, such as an RV park? Will you be traveling more moving from place to place like we have a tendency to do? And how often you'll use it? I mean, is it just for the weekends, or is it just for a few weeks out of the year?
Right.
So these are just some of the factors, that come into play when picking an RV. But for us, we decided to return back to a Class A motorhome.
So for me, it was more for the additional space that comes with the Class A. And I mean the storage space that does not take away from the living space. In the fifth wheel, we had little storage space below the floor. We could have used the garage area, but we considered that living space and really didn't want to lose that. And make no mistake, we probably have too much stuff with us as full-timers,
No
but
doubt.
we felt... but we felt more storage was needed regardless. And we will show you the additional storage below when we do the tour.
Yeah. And for me, it was also about the extra space that you mentioned, which in this particular model, we actually get a little bit more space because this Class A is on a raised chassis.
That's right.
So it provides even more space down below.
Yeah.
But I was also a little bit through with some of the things we had to do in the fifth wheel, again, because we travel quite a bit. On the stops, for example, at the rest areas or wherever we might be.
Forget about that.
We'd have to get out of the truck, walk back to the fifth wheel, lower the steps if you could.
Yeah.
A couple of times we did have situations where we couldn't. And then once inside, we only had access to the restroom and bedroom when the slides were closed. We had access to half of the refrigerator. Clay had to climb over the kitchen island on several occasions to get something out of the pantry. And let me tell you, it was even more of a hassle to do all of that when it was raining or very cold outside. So we believe the Class A offers more livability, even when the slides are closed and when we're traveling. And certainly on the stops, we don't even have to get out of the RV if you don't want to. I mean, I get out from time to time, take walks around and check things out, but you don't have to if it's not convenient for you. So we felt like the Class A was just more, just easier and more convenient for us. The other reason that I love it is the drivability. This thing sits on air ride suspension, and the engine is almost 40 feet in the rear. So it's very quiet where we sit, and it also is a dream to drive, which helps reduce driver fatigue significantly. So those are some of the reasons we returned back to a Class A.
So number 2, why did we choose a Tiffin? Well, if you guys remember, our first Class A was a Tiffin. We appreciate their customer service back then, and we went and we saw our Tiffin being built. We visited Red Bay, Alabama, and liked the customer service center they have there. We really like how they build their motorhomes, the wood cabinets, the flooring, the day and night shades, just the luxury that you get in a Tiffin led us back to the brand. Also, Tiffin has a strong network of owners, as I'm sure, many manufacturers do, who assist others with like questions, issues, because you're going to have issues regardless of the manufacturer you choose, right?
Yeah. And so far, we've been very pleased with this Tiffin, which is, by the way, a 2020 Allegro Bus 40 AP model.
So last question, why did we choose South Dakota as our domicile state?
Yeah, and that's a good question. In our research, we found that there were 3 states that were very popular with full-time RVers, and that is South Dakota, which state we chose, the great state of Texas, and the sunshine state of Florida. Now, you can full-time in pretty much any state, but those 3 states have advantages over others. One big issue why Florida, South Dakota, and Texas are so popular is that those states recognize mail forwarding services as your physical address. See, keep in mind that as a full-time traveler, you still have to have an address for your driver's license, your vehicle registration, and a place to vote. So again, those 3 states do allow the mail forwarding services to act as your physical address, where other states don't. Another reason those 3 are very popular is they do not have a state income tax. So for us, it was really about choosing between those 3. And each one of the 3 have advantages and disadvantages. For example, Florida, which is next door to us because we lived in Georgia, has a higher sales tax. When you add the state tax with all their county taxes, and all the counties have them, it's around 7%. South Dakota's sales tax is 4.5%, and the county that our address is in, they don't have a sales tax. So when we purchased this motorhome, we saved a significant amount of money just because we were domiciling in South Dakota. Texas is popular as well, but one of the issues I had with Texas is they require a special license for anyone driving an RV over 26,000 pounds. And look, I'm not opposed to a special license, but we all know that having a license does not guarantee a safe driver. We know that by some of the poor drivers and the equally bad decision makers that are out there now with driver's license. So good common sense and careful thought, we think, would get us through for the most part. So Texas was out.
We also looked at vehicle registration cost. Florida was ranked the highest in the country in one report that came out this year. Texas was 16th highest, and South Dakota ranked 28th. So out of the 3, South Dakota was least expensive. And then we looked at auto insurance. A report we looked at when making our decision showed Florida in the top 5 highest state for insurance.
Consistently in the top 5.
South Dakota ranked 44th. Only 6 states had lower insurance rate. So vehicle registration, insurance, and taxes are just a few of the things we looked at.
And other things to consider is healthcare costs and availability, property tax, homeschooling laws is coming into play now. And how often does the state you're looking at require you to renew your vehicle registration or driver's license in person? Is it once a year? If so, how does that work out for you? So we encourage you, of course, to do your own due diligence when seeking what's the best state for you.
So one final question, what are we doing with the motorcycle?
Well, we're still working on that, but make no mistake, we're going to have the motorcycle with us when we travel. And so stay tuned how we solve that issue. Be sure and join us in next week's video when we take you on a tour of our new home on wheels. Well, that's going to do it for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you smash that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Again, as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, be well and stay safe.
Golden trinkets, mobile phone, expensive shoes, you can get your own. Just gonna love